Last week to our episode.
Yeah, and welcome to episode 2 of season 7. We're going to be talking about getting involved on campus.
There are truly so many ways to get involved on campus. We have 2 great guests for you this evening. We have Everette Brooks and we also have Joi Sullivan. We'll have them on in a little bit.
But, newsflash, it is finals week here at Cal Poly.
How is finals week going for you?
I'm done. Yeah, my finals week wrapped up a little early this quarter, which has been so nice, so relaxing, but what about you, John?
Well, she's done, and I'm jealous. I have 2 more. I have philosophy tomorrow, so I've been philosophizing a lot.
Yes,
studying.
Much philosophizing.
We'll see how it goes. I'm prepared. Cool down. We're good to go.
But you know, one of the things that really helps me with my final stress is actually all the things I am involved in on campus.
Exactly.
And that's why we decided to talk about that today. Is it's such a great way to meet people, it's such a great way to put yourself out there and to really, you know, get de-stressed and enjoy being here at Cal Poly.
And really quickly, before we go to our first little video clip, can we talk about the chat bar a little bit?
Oh yeah, definitely. So if you look at your screen, you can chat with our moderators. We have 4 moderators on today. So ask them your questions and they will send you links about resources. It'll just be a really great way to get your questions answered.
Awesome. And then our next little video clip we have for you, it's really about the Learn by Doing philosophy that Cal Poly has. So these are some great ways that I did not even know you could do on campus, you know, to really get yourself out there and get involved on campus. So enjoy. 2, 3, 4.
I try to picture the girl through a looking glass and see her as a carbon atom. See your eyes and stare back at them. See that.
I think trying new things is definitely a big thing. I've always been really scared of bees and never interacted with them. So going out there and having this experience has really opened me up to not being so afraid of them.
Like we had to plan our meetings and we just were given the project at the beginning of the quarter and we had to have it done by the end. So planning and making sure we can meet our deadlines and like working with each other, and we're going to have to do that in the workplace, and you have to do that with a lot of classes because Learn by Doing is a lot of your own direction.
You can't really get that kind of information from just sitting in a class. Like, there's so much more that you can grasp, especially if you're a kinesthetic learner and you learn by doing.
Skills and the actual concepts that we're learning. I mean, we're not necessarily going to do this exact same lab, exact same format in the real world, but we'll take these concepts and these like same equations and we'll use them to figure out real problems.
It's hard to learn by yourself, and you can't make all the mistakes by yourself. So when you watch someone else like do something wrong, they can teach you, and you don't have to make that same mistake for yourself.
Having a professor come in and say, oh yeah, we talked to these firms and they said 4.0 is not the most important thing. It's if you can think critically and if you can actually do the work that we're asking you to do. So to me, that's the value of a life skill, is learn by doing.
Well, we hope that you enjoyed that video, and we're on with our first guest today. Would you mind introducing yourself, sir?
Sure. My name is Everette Brooks, and I'm currently the coordinator of clubs and organizations at Cal Poly, which include the club sport program.
What exactly are club sports?
Well, club sports are the way that students are able to continue whatever discipline they're involved in, possibly in high school, at a higher level. We do compete nationally against other schools, and the club sport program is really vibrant here. Since 2005, we've won 16 national championships one state open division title and one open division championship. So we take competing at a high level very seriously here at Cal Poly.
Wow. Well, what is the difference between, you know, our Division I sports, our club sports, and our intramural sports?
Well, the easy way to look at that is that the Division I sports get scholarships. Club sports are not scholarship athletes, and the intramural program is generally housed just on campus.
Okay.
What type of sports can students play? Like, what kinds of sports can students play with intramurals and club sports on campus?
Well, intramurals, they generally have soccer. They may have some other softball leagues, flag football, etc. And while club sports has 25 teams, and we go from lacrosse, men's and women's, soccer, men's and women's, ultimate frisbee, volleyball, water polo, baseball, badminton, fencing, triathlon, wheelman, and they're going to get mad if I leave anybody out. Dance sport, distance, rugby, roller hockey, sailing, surf, tennis, and water skiing.
I didn't know surf was a sport you could compete in.
That's correct.
That's really cool.
Intramurals are so much fun. Soccer, very fun, by the way.
Yeah.
So, what kind of students are good fits for joining club sports? Who do club sports look for?
Well, actually, the student has already previously played sports in high school, and they kind of like have a specialty. But through the development of the program, what has happened is we'll take someone who has not really played this sport, and by the time they're a junior or senior, they can develop and become good at it. So we take any and all people that can be involved with the program.
Awesome. How exactly can students get involved in club sports, and is that process different from getting involved with intramurals?
Yeah, well actually we have a website through the Dean of Students Office, so you can sign up there officially, but at Week of Welcome, there's going to be, all the teams are going to be represented out there, and they'll take an interest sheet from any prospective student, have them sign up, and they can go from there. They get to meet the student athletes that are coming back from last year.
Wow. So I know you talked about us having some national titles.
That's correct.
So who do our club sports teams generally compete with?
Actually, anywhere from, and during league, anywhere from Chico State all the way down to San Diego State, UCLA, USC, Cal Berkeley, UC Davis, UC Santa Barbara. We generally play all those schools during competition.
It's a lot of travel.
It is a lot of travel.
So what are the benefits of playing a sport in college?
Well, I think it really enhances your time management skills because you are required to practice a certain amount of time during the week. And that's in addition to your 25 to 35 hours that you're supposed to be studying.
Yeah.
And when you're a leader of one of these organizations, there's some organizational things you have to do, which adds more hours to it. And generally, when you get to be a leader for one of these groups in your professional development, you're able to apply those skills and be really looking good for your professional development.
Awesome. We have a viewer question. Who do we contact if we are looking to join a club sport?
Well, you can contact me, and I will direct you and make sure your passion gets recognized, and you get to join one of the clubs that you desire. Once again, our website is really interactive, and you can go on there and actually join a club. We have a tab on there, and it'll send you through a series of steps to actually join the club.
We had another viewer ask, are there tryouts for the different teams?
Yes, there are. Due to the high competitive nature, the majority of the teams do have tryouts. And it's a fair selection process, but if you're really adamant and you have some skill in the area, I guarantee you'll be able to make the team. And you may not be on the travel squad initially, but you can help out with events during the year. And if your skill level needs a little bit of work, they'll have coaches to work with you until you get to the point.
Awesome. Do you know how many students on campus play club sports?
Last year we had about 1,134. student athletes.
That's a very specific number.
Yeah, I do all the online registrations. So it may start out a little bit larger in the beginning, but then due to time commitments, sometimes it kind of waves.
So would you say for a student who feels like they have kind of not as much time, an intramural would be a better fit than a club sport?
It could be. I believe you do have a lot to offer in any capacity. So if there's a chance you could participate with the club sport program and not travel on the weekends, then you could practice during the week. Highly encourage anyone out there that if you really do have a passion for the sport and you'd like to come out and contribute to our program, feel free to come on out and see what you can do.
We have another viewer question. How do the teams go about balancing the practice schedule with academic requirements for the students?
Well, I think that's on a case-by-case basis. When you first come in, you're not going to take an officer position, which requires a lot of time management. You'll participate with the program, and one of the things that's really helpful is that these student athletes help each other in class as well. So it's kind of like a double opportunity. You'll not only get to communicate with other athletes, but their students as well. So if some of the upperclassmen have taken classes that you're taking now, they can potentially help you, and we do that a lot.
So we talked about signing up for club sports on the website. Is there a specific time where incoming students can come and meet the people who are on these club sports and join the teams?
Yeah, actually during the week of welcome, like during the club showcase, that's the first opportunity. After that, about 2 weeks, they're going to have another opportunity in the University Union. All the club teams are going to be out there where you can sign up as well. And then at that point, anytime, if you go to their websites, if they've been updated properly, you can find out when the practice schedules are and when the tryout times are. So there's some opportunities there as well.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of great opportunities to get involved with them.
It's a lot of fun, let me tell you. We have one real last question for you. If you had 24 hours left in SLO, what would you do? Just 24 hours. 24 hours? Yeah. I think I would take probably all the good restaurants that I've always wanted to go to and eat, pack up some food, go out to Morro Bay, take one of the little boats and sail around Avila, and continue down to Santa Barbara, make my way back up to the north, and come back. And I think I'd like to do that because I get a full view of the area, one of the most beautiful areas in the world, and I think that'd be my 24 hours.
Wow, well I think you're ready to compete on the club sports sailing team.
We do have a team.
Well,
highly successful. As a matter of fact, they went to Hawaii last year.
Wow. So. Did they sail to Hawaii? Or?
As a matter of fact, they performed very well though.
Man, I would have joined the sailing team. That sounds like a lot of fun. Well, thank you so much, Everette. I have learned a lot, and we'll post your website up on our Facebook page, so if students want to get involved, they can contact you.
Please do. Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, next up we have Sam's Corner. He's talking about some clubs that we've never heard of. Enjoy.
Oh, hello again. In the spirit of getting involved on campus, I'd like to spotlight the top clubs that you and I have both never heard of. Let's go! The first club that I would like to showcase is Club 34. Now, you may think this could be a club honoring famous baseball players Nolan Ryan, or Raleigh Fingers, or Kirby Puckett, or a club honoring the Dave Matthews Band song 34, or a club for the highway going through Nebraska. But in reality, Club 34 is a social club run by the art and design students to encourage communication within the art and design department and with other departments and students through workshops, exhibitions, and events. Hola, el próximo club es Imagen y Espíritu Valle Folclórico de Calpali. Ellos se dedican a realizar danzas folclóricos tradicionales de diferentes estados de México para promover la cultura, informar a los estudiantes acerca de los tipos de baile, ingregar nuestra comunidad cultural moralmente la difusión de una apreciación de las danzas tradicionales mexicanas. Do you like to dance, Mr. Squirrel?
Hey, mister, I'm nuts for dancing. Can you scratch my nose? Oh, yeah, no, right there. No, a little higher. Okay, yep, that was good.
Okay. I love milk. Speaking of milk, Los Lecheros Dairy Club on campus allows students to connect with dairy industry representatives. Slow Smash Community is a social club whose primary purpose is to play games from the Super Smash Bros. Series. Another interesting club on Cal Poly's campus is White Hat. Now you might think it's a bunch of people who parade around in white hats, but that's not true. White Hat is actually internet slang for being an ethical computer hacker. And on Cal Poly's campus, they provide the tools, knowledge, and skills for students to make the internet a safer place. The final club that you have probably never heard of is the Zero Waste Club. This is a group of students who try to make people more knowledgeable about different kinds of waste and try to keep the campus looking lovely as usual. I guess you could say they pride themselves in having nothing to show for their work. Well, it has been my pleasure making you all more knowledgeable about some of the adored agencies that we have here on campus. I'm all out of time for this week, but I can't wait to hang out with you next time on Sam's Corner.
All right, so while we were watching Sam's Corner, we got a really great question from the audience. We were asked, how do you sign up for an intramural sport? Is it just like signing up for a club sport? And no, it is not.
It's a little bit different. It's an online registration process. It's usually the first week of the quarter, right? Ish?
Yeah, yes.
First week, and it's pretty much first come, first serve. It's pretty competitive. Everyone wants to play intramural, so you really got to be like waiting to press enter, or like sign me up, like right when the time opens up. So stuff like that.
There's a couple different levels of intramural sports, and you can either come in with a team or as a free agent. So you really have to kind of think about that before you go into the registration process. Later in the season, we will hopefully feature a little bit more about intramural sports, just because we know that you want that information, and so we'll be able to answer your questions then. All right.
Cool. Well, our next guest, Joi Sullivan. Joi, could you go ahead and introduce yourself and what your position is on campus for us?
Yes, absolutely. So my name is Joi Sullivan. I'm a third-year political science major. I'm actually graduating in a couple of days, in 3 days, but I'll be sticking around to go into the Masters of Public Policy program here at Cal Poly. Thank you. And I am the ASI president for this next year.
Wow. So, can you tell us a little bit about what an ASI president is?
Correct. Yes, I absolutely can. So the ASI president is basically the student body representative for all of campus. And so it's June, so in April, I was elected by this year's student body to be your representative next year to both the administration for the university as well as to outside entities.
Wow. You're with a celebrity.
Pretty much. So what are some other ways besides the ASI president that you've been involved on campus?
So I'll just give you a little picture of my year this year. So the political science major is in the College of Liberal Arts, and so I have been a College of Liberal Arts ambassadors, which is a group of students that really promotes the College of Liberal Arts through information sessions and other events during open house and things like that. I'm also the co-president of the Political Science Honors Society, so we do a lot for the Political Science Department. Goodness, I have been in intramural sports in the past 3 years. I've done basketball and soccer.
Wow.
A number of times intramural champions last spring. Had a great team. And I'm trying to think if I'm missing something. Oh, I work at the College of Liberal Arts Advising Center. So if you're a student on campus and you need advising for how to plan for future quarter scheduling, things like that, you can go to your college's advising center and the advisors can help you out. So I work there this year as well.
Wow, it's involved in a lot.
Yeah.
Well, going back to ASI president, what is ASI?
Yeah, so ASI stands for Associated Students Incorporated. And the cool thing about ASI, so it's an organization on campus that it's an auxiliary organization. So it's its own entity, but it has to follow the rules of the CSU system in the state. But it's also made up of every single student at Cal Poly. So if you come to Cal Poly, you are actually part of ASI. It's kind of a tricky thing, but it also provides a lot of services on campus, and so a lot of programs come through ASI. For instance, just to give a few examples, ASI has ASI events under it. So they put on things like the Mustang Mile, which is a 5K that benefits certain organizations on campus. I'm sure we talked about at some point. We have a craft center in the University Union. ASI oversees the University Union, the rec center, so all the policies, everything that goes on with that. The craft center actually offers classes that you can take for the quarter. Things like how to make your own baseball bat. Oh, that's pretty cool.
The surfboard, there's surfboard
shaping. Yeah, jewelry smithing, things like that. But also within ASI is student government, and student government is has 3 branches, and there's about 40 student leaders that serve on that throughout the year. And so we do a lot of policy and really representing students in an official capacity to the university administration.
So you mentioned that there are about 40 student leaders. What kind of opportunities do they have to be a leader through ASI? Like, what kind of titles do they have?
So there's 3 branches. There is the board of directors. Those students are actually elected by their college, and so they serve as an official representative for their college. And that's kind of just a neat opportunity, because depending on the size of your college, you're representing a lot of students, and they do things like write resolutions that serve as an official, in corporate record of what students really want on this campus, which is really cool. And the University Union Advisory Board, quite a mouthful. We like to call it UUAB for short.
It's a little easier,
but just a tad. And UUAB actually oversees all of the facilities that are overseen by ASI. So that includes the sports complex, which is where a lot of the outdoor intramurals are playing. That oversees the rec center, so all the policies within there, any new things such as, what's on the walls in the rec center, to what are the policies, can you wear a tank top, can you not, like things like that. The University Union Advisory Board actually oversees. They also oversee the University Union and everything that goes on there. So we have a Starbucks in our union, yoga creations, we have a bowling alley.
This very conference room.
This very conference room, we are in the University Union, and so all of that was brought to you by the University Union Advisory Board, which is cool. And the 3rd branch is the executive cabinet, and they are actually a smaller group of students that isn't necessarily a representative body, but is able to do projects. And so I've been part of that the past couple of years, and things like there was an event earlier this month called the Wall of Emotions. Pretty simple. A wall's put up outside, and you write a question on it, and students can come and answer that question. And so there's just things like that. There's some smaller projects that students really have the opportunity to help foster just the community at Cal Poly.
So why did you decide to get involved with ASI?
Oh, wow. So my freshman year, there's actually a subgroup of ASI called the executive staff. If you're around for Club Showcase at the beginning of the year, right after WOW, hopefully we'll be out there. But it's basically a volunteer staff to kind of get your foot in the door and see what ASI is all about and see if that's really your niche on campus. For me, it was. And so my freshman year, I joined exec staff and just helped put on events and projects and things like that that student government does, and just really found it to be a place where I could develop my leadership skills, but really serve students in a bigger capacity. And so that's why I ran for ASI president, is to really just serve students and be that official voice for them.
Wow. So how exactly does an incoming student go about getting involved on campus and what they want to do?
Wow. So I would say you kind of have to just put yourself out there. So while Club Showcase is a great opportunity, there's always tons of clubs out, and you will probably put your name on about 30 email lists. I still get emails from clubs that I sign up for then that still have not attended. But you put your name on email lists, and it really just takes your motivation to just go once and see. Talk to some people, see if this really is something you're interested in, and try it. It's kind of the biggest thing. And a lot of it comes down to the people. I would say the majority of it does. I know that student government members have shaped my experience at Cal Poly, and they're a huge reason that I have stayed with it for 3 years. And so, in order to get involved, you kind of have to take that next step. And sometimes it's a little scary, especially when you're in a new place and you're far away from home, and You may not know very many people, but it's worth it.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that's my biggest piece of advice, is just put yourself out there and try it. And I would say, you know, you have a lot of opportunities in front of you, and to I would kind of focus on a few. Don't try to be involved in every single thing. It's really difficult. I've tried. It doesn't work out.
It seems like you're doing a pretty good job of being involved in everything. But what are some benefits that you've seen from getting involved on campus?
I think part of it is just being connected with people.
Yeah.
And part of it is just just speaking specifically with student government, just being able to really interact with members of the administration and get to know them kind of on a personal level and realize like they're people too. And it's kind of, it's kind of like getting involved in your department as well. I'm pretty involved in the political science department, and really getting to know your professors and the people around you just really impacts your experience at Cal Poly. And so connectedness is always a big thing in the future. You know, you want to have that kind of support system walking you through life, and that's the biggest thing. Not to mention other just leadership skills and developing communication skills, things like that.
Yeah, well, definitely for me, being involved in my major has been really a great boost. Getting to know your professors is so awesome, and yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from with that one.
Awesome. So what exactly are your goals as ASI president?
Okay, so my biggest goals are really to know the voice of students. I think a lot of times, the ASI president can kind of have this perception of what students really want without actually knowing. And so one of my goals is to really make a conscientious effort to reach out to you guys in particular and really see what you want out of your college experience, because that's really what I'm here for, is to represent you and make sure that you have the ultimate college experience. That's actually ASI's motto. For lack of I think it's a motto. I'm pretty sure it is. It's like the mission statement, vision statement kind of thing. And so that's my biggest overarching goal. I really would like to see students represented on the side of financial concerns as well as community and making sure that their community needs are met, because that's really important in your time of college. Some ideas about that, but let's see.
So what is one specific thing that you have learned from being a leader at Cal Poly, being involved in leadership?
Okay. This one might surprise a few people. I think the biggest thing that I learned about leadership is it's not about being this perfect person in front of people. It's not about putting on this a front that I have it all together all the time. I'd like to think that I do, but I don't. And so
it's fine to say no one has it all
together. No one has it all together this week. And so I think part of it is just understanding that in order to build community as a leader, you have to be vulnerable with people, and you need to be open with them with where you're at, and really just be honest. And I think it's kind of surprising, because you might not think this is a natural characteristic of leadership, but that to me is probably the biggest thing I've learned in my time at Cal Poly.
Awesome. Do you have a message for incoming students?
Oh man, many. Cal Poly is all about the people, and your experience is defined by people. When you look back on your college experience, you're going to remember the people, not necessarily, maybe not your classes, hopefully your classes to some degree, but you're going to remember the people. And so I think my biggest piece of advice is don't wait to invest in other people. I think I'm a little bit of an introvert, so I kind of stayed in my room a lot freshman year. And I think your first year, you're going to be nervous, that's normal. You're going to be, depending on how outgoing or extroverted you are, it might vary, but I think really making a huge effort to invest in people from the get-go will really shape your college experience, and it will definitely be beneficial.
Well, we have our hardest question left.
I know.
Joy.
I know.
If you had 24 hours left in SLO,
Oh dear.
what would you do?
There's so many things.
I know.
It's too hard to decide. Okay, so I was thinking I would honestly not sleep for 24 hours.
No.
And what I would do is I would try to, I love being outside. And so, and you can't not enjoy being outside here because the weather is always beautiful. So I think that I would have a kind of combination of like eating at restaurants when it's like mealtime and like hopping at my favorite restaurants, but then also like going from like one hike at Bishop's, which is one of my favorite hikes, to eat food and then hike up Madonna and then eat food. I don't know if you should eat food that much, but I would really just try to around all of the
Food hikes.
food hikes and the beach. I would go to the beach. I don't know. I would just be outside literally the entire day and night and like sleep outside and look at the stars. I just like, the air is so gorgeous, you can't beat it. That would be.
It's truly beautiful here.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. You've inspired me to get involved in ASI last year here. Sounds like a great opportunity. So thank you so much for coming on our episode, and it's been so great to have all of you here, so thank you so much for watching us. We learned a lot about getting involved on campus, and there were some new clubs that I didn't know existed.
Yeah, no clue about those clubs.
No
but
clue.
I might go put myself out there and go get involved in those, you know what I'm saying? Maybe. So, over the episode, we had Everette Brooks come on. He came and kind of talked about club sports, intramural sports, kind of a good way to get involved if you want to be, more like athletic and physical and competitive. You can do club and intramural sports. It's super fun. I have a lot of friends that do club soccer, and they absolutely love it. Just kind of a time commitment, but it's so much fun, so worth it for them.
We also talked about, learn by doing and how many opportunities there are on campus to learn by doing, because that is our motto, as well as showcasing some of those really cool, interesting clubs that Sam showed us.
It's hilarious. And then we also have Joi Sullivan on our show, our newly elected ASI president, talking about ASI and other great ways to get involved on campus.
So we know that you probably have questions, not just about this episode, but in general, and a great place to get those answered is on our Facebook page. So like us on Facebook, send any questions you have to the page, and we will be right there to answer them for you. You can also send questions by email to orientation@calpoly.edu.
All right, so our next episode, June 29th. It's also a Wednesday at 6 p.m. Looking forward to see you there. Thank you for tuning in today.
Yeah, and we're going to bring our King of Acoustics on to serenade you again, and hopefully he remembers to turn his mic on this week.
Yeah, Jack Wilson. Woo! Woo! Would you like to sit down?
No, I'll show you.
Just chill right there.
John, you want to sing with me a little bit?
Love to. Listen to.
There was a time I used to look into my father's eyes in a happy home.